Welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Someone Sick Sports Podcast. Today, my co-host at J Don't Fade Jason and I will be talking about the game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. How do you think the Bills offense will do against the Patriots defense?
Yeah, Robbie, taking a look at the last couple games, along with obviously the last Patriots game. Josh's stats weren't too, I guess, compared to his better games this year, they weren't. It wasn't his greatest game this year, or any of the other games he's played against the Pats yet to this point in his career. But there's obviously always room for that to change as life goes on, and as the team progresses and gets better. Obviously, adding weapons like Diggs. Not since his last game with them. Obviously, we had Diggs at that point, but having a hopefully healthy John Brown on Monday night will be great. We've seen that people that stepped in John Brown's place, whether it was Gabe Davis or Jake Kumro most recently, have been able to fill that spot. Maybe not to the full extent that we'd like or that we'd expect from a caliber player such as John Brown himself, but they've been able to fill that wide receiver 2 spot. I'm hoping to see John Brown come back and have a good game on Monday. For fantasy reasons, I'm hoping to see Stephon Diggs do the same thing, have another great game. I'd like to predict at this point just because of Stephon Gilmore, not Diggs, but Stephon Gilmore's injury that Diggs should have an easier matchup, which in turn gives an easier matchup for someone like John Brown, Gabe Davis, and so on down the line. Anytime you're missing, a key player like a Gilmore, an elite player at that position, obviously that has a ripple effect on not only how the defense plays, but how the offense is able to produce as well. So I expect to see Josh get out there, ball out again. I think they're trying to make statements, really, I do, Robbie. Just taking a look at how they've played the last couple of games, especially this most recent game, this, lashing of Denver, putting them, 48 points on the board or whatnot. It's anything above 40 points really is a lashing, but depending on what the other team scored as well. But we did happen to blow out Denver, and I think just with the way they're playing, they're not slowing down. They didn't slow up at all last game, and it seems like towards the end they tried to, and they just they couldn't. Devin Singletary saw an opportunity to take it to the house, and bless him that he did, because it got me an extra 12, 13. It was either 13 or 14 points I got on that 50-yard rush for a touch there. So thank you, Devin Singletary. Thank you, Stephon Diggs, for what you did as well. That was also great, and a great addition to my points for the week. Got me to the Super Bowl in one league, not the other. That being the fault of Juju Smith-Schuster. But I do look to the Bills to probably go through the air tomorrow. I don't know what the Patriots are doing. I guess that's kind of where it depends too. And I'm not saying that, Bill Belichick has so much power that he can decide how we're going to play on offense. I mean, because obviously he can instill a game plan and the majority of his career that's worked for him, but especially with younger quarterbacks. But I think Josh is kind of past that younger quarterback stage where he's learning things about Bill Belichick now as much as Belichick knew about him coming in or has learned about him. So he's able to match that par for par with Belichick, really. I don't know where they're at. Is England really trying to win tomorrow? Are they trying to get a better draft pick? Are they trying to get maybe a Trey Lance or one of the upcoming number of prospects in the league? At this point, I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback. I mean, from what I hear and from what I see, it seems like he is, but statistically, if you look at some of the stats, obviously opponent, playing the SEC or ACC, one of the, more two significant golden or silver leagues. It's obviously tougher competition, but there's some other college quarterbacks out there. But I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to win? Are they trying to just float through? Do they want to take 2 more losses on the season and try and get closer to that top 5 pick? I don't know. Where they're at now, I think if they did lose 2 more, it's possible they could get in the top 5, which obviously we're not hoping for. But at the same time, we're trying to lock up that 2nd seed. So a win tomorrow. If we win out, I think the second seed should be ours. I don't see a way that it changes hands at that point. I think we have control of it at this point. So I also don't see us getting the first round bye either. I can't say he's going to win tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. If they don't win tomorrow, they're going to win the next game. So yeah, I think the Bills offense will do well tomorrow. I don't think they're going to put up 48 points, even with all the injuries. Having 20 questionable players for the Patriots, I don't see the Patriots putting up sorry, not putting up all over the place, allowing more than maybe 35, 40 points at most. That's the ceiling, because it still is a Bill Belichick team. It still do have some solid players in that defense that are playing for something and want to impress their coach, obviously. So, what are your thoughts on that, Robbie?
I just hope that like maybe they have a good game like they did last week against Denver, and I think they might get Singletary um more involved in the game, or Moss, um and maybe a little bit of Cole Beasley, or um maybe get a little bit of John Brown in there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Now to step forward to the defense difference. I think it's going to be lights out. I don't think it's going to be like the first game where they get a couple lucky touchdowns. Not they were lucky, but just that we give up a couple touchdowns, 21, 24 points. I don't even see that happening. I see the Bills defense limited them like 10 points tomorrow, man. I don't think that Cam Newton is he hasn't been the guy for a while, and I definitely don't think this year has changed that. If anything, it's made it significantly worse. His last game, a handful of games this year have just been absolutely disgusting. I don't think he has the arm anymore. I don't think that I also to play devil's advocate, I guess I also don't think he's had a lot of time to be able to get acquainted with even the dumbed down version of Bill Belichick's offense and what the playbook looks like. Just the fact that we had COVID, obviously training camp cut short. Um, if there really was even a training camp to begin with, to be honest, practices cut short, less practices, less invasive, less ability to really get in there with the guys, due to obviously the restrictions with the mask and social distancing and whatnot. I just don't think the Cam's the guy. I don't think he has any weapons around him either. I was one of the people that thought that Inkil here would be pretty good coming out of college. I haven't seen that at this point yet. Edelman's banged up and out, I believe. I really don't know, man. I can't look at a point on their defense, on their offense, and say that some of our defense can't stop or won't be able to sniff out. It's not like they have, really a three-edge attack. Like we have our wide receivers, we have our running game, and we have our quarterback who can run as well, or chuck it, or run, or dish it out. We're a three-legged monster essentially. While New England struggles to find even one leg at the end of the day. I don't think we should have an issue with their offense. Maybe they'll probably score a touchdown, maybe a garbage time touchdown, a field goal or two to that point. Maybe they eclipse 10, I guess. But I really don't see them having anything that I can really seriously look at and think, wow, that's going to stop us. So what are your thoughts on the defense versus their offense, Robbie?
I think maybe Levi Wallace or Trey White get a pick off of Cam Newton, or whoever their starting quarterback is going to be. Um, Maybe Jordan Poyer will get like a knockdown, or maybe he'll make an interception too.
That'd be awesome.
And um, I hope Tremaine Edmonds has a good game on defense.
Yeah, he's a Pro Bowler. I'd like to see Ed Oliver have a good game too. After that trash talk that, Cam gave to him at training camp last year. Look on Ed's face in that video. I've watched it a couple times. I think Ed really wants to bring him down. He's come close a couple times too. So I'd like to see a sack. Maybe Ed have a good game. Sack and a half, maybe two. Sack or two. Pass defended or two. Maybe a tackle for loss. Kind of just send a statement that he's not to be taken lightly. So I'd like to see that as well. We're now to the point where we're going to talk about three keys to the game. Okay, Rob, what are your three keys to the game?
My three keys to the game are um like to have um a good run game and um on special teams try to get like um decent field position so you're not like backed up at your own like 25 or so.
Right.
um don't have too many uh like punt situations where um like Corey Bojorquez has to come out and punt. Try to get points when you can.
Right.
And my third key to the game would be um like to knock the ball out of their hands instead of trying to intercept it.
Yeah, I'm fine with trying to intercept it. Honestly, I could care. I rather just have the stats at this point. I'm not too worried about it. Um, to be honest, I really wasn't worried about it on either of those plays either that we see from earlier the year, the iconic plays where someone tried to intercept it and it was caught because DeAndre Hopkins at the end of the day didn't complete the catch. That was a drop pass, should have been a touchdown, and there was clear pass interference, OPI, offensive pass interference on that Chargers Hail Mary as well. So just bad officiating all around. Our guys tried to make the play. They didn't make the play. Still shouldn't have been any harm to us, but it was because the officials in the NFL suck. So, and they suck every day, every day, whether they're on the football field or not. They are god awful. Just in their personal lives, maybe I'm not sure. But either way, they're week after week. It doesn't get any better. I've given up on it getting any better. I don't think it's gonna. But my three keys to the game, anyways. Yeah, my three keys. So they're not someone. And like I said, I'm trying not to overlook this game, but I know it's still Bill. Big bad Bill Belichick. Um, you know, more rings than you can fit on one hand, but the team is something's going to happen in the offseason. They're going to get better, right? They're not going to be down forever. One of two things will happen in the offseason real quick just for this team. They're either going to get better and they're going to get better quick and they're going to be back and relevant next year, or Bill Belichick is going to retire. He's not going to ride a sinking ship. He's not going to do it to his legacy, to himself. He's up there in age. If I were him, I would have already retired and probably enjoyed my retirement. And with the amount of money I've made and sponsorships and whatever I need, I would just go do whatever I want to do in life for my last 20, 25 years or whatever. But it's the drive, right? I'm in that position. So I'm not sure. But those are two things. Those are one of two things that are going to happen for them next year. Three keys to the game, though. I want John Brown to come out, and I want him to just show that he is show us some good faith, that he is what he was before he got hurt. In that Cardinals game, I don't know if everybody remembers, he made a friggin' amazing catch that I haven't even seen a highlight of since, which I don't think anybody picked up on it because he got hurt on that play, I believe. But he made like a circus catch essentially, and he made a couple good catches in that game, and it was just refreshing to see him out there in that game. And now I'm hoping tomorrow we have that spark to the offense. I mean, imagine what we were last week. Imagine that. Okay, now take out, let's say Gabe Davis. We'll pick out like a Gabe Davis or Jake Kumaro and put in the speedy guy that was meant and this offense was built to produce with, And then, oh yeah, by the way, you've got, the best wide receiver in the league on the other side, and you've got a top 5 quarterback over center, possibly a top 3 quarterback, top 2 quarterback this year. I hope by year's end, maybe he's top 1, but yeah, I want to see John Brown come out, have a good showing, something like 5-6 catches for a little over a hundo and maybe a touchdown just for good measure. And you know what? Maybe even a touchdown pass would be better for John Brown. Those trick plays they like to run for the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to give Bill any of that, though. Any of that information to Belichick over there on the other sideline. But that's my first key to the game. My second key to the game is for Josh. It's going to be like this every single week until people just start to shut up. Just for Josh to silence the critics and the haters. At this point, Josh Allen has done more than enough to show us that he, in Buffalo, number one, that he is the guy for us. And two, that he is a lot better than everybody thought he was, and that he's good in general. And no one thought he was. Most people didn't, other than Mel Kiper, thought he wasn't good on the national level. And three, that he's an MVP candidate, right? and that I have full faith now that he could lead this team to a Super Bowl. I really do. I can't tell you when it happened. It's not something I take lightly either because there's not a lot of quarterbacks in the league I think they can do that. Obviously Mahomes, obviously Tom Brady, Drew Brees, any young up and coming guys. I think maybe eventually Justin Herbert could. It's really hard to judge at this point, but for certain, I think Josh could take this team to the Super Bowl. I want him to just continue to do well on a weekly basis. I'm not asking for 400 or 500 yards every week, but I'm asking for efficiency, non-sloppy football. And if you do make a mistake, you get out there and do something 10 times better to make up for it. Yeah. My third thing is just to get out healthy. Get in, get a dub, get back home, stay healthy. That's really it. We have the playoffs coming up. I can't imagine that next week is a game where even with the spot clinch, even if we somehow clinch the second spot this week, right? I don't even know if that's possible. I have to look the scenarios up. That's my fault. But I can't see a reason why we would be sitting anybody next week against Miami. Number one, you can knock a division rival out of the playoffs. Possibly. We'll see what happens this week and what's going on right now tonight. It's 9:30, so we're in the middle of the Dolphins-Raiders game. Looks like the Raiders were up 10-3 last I checked. But number two, obviously, you want to knock. Number one, you want to knock a division rival out of the playoffs. Number two, we did it to the Jets a couple years ago. Actually, when we had Rex, it's pretty sweet. Maybe it was more than a couple years ago. Maybe it was like 5 years ago. But either way, they had Darrelle Revis. We had Sammy. Sammy and Darrelle were going back and forth during the game. We ended up winning that game. And the second thing, obviously, you don't want to. I mean, if it had to come down to playing the Ravens or playing the Dolphins, I'd rather play the Ravens because we know them. Or I'm sorry, not the Ravens, the Dolphins because we know them. But on the same, flip side of that token, they know us as well. Brian Flores has played us a couple games against us now, more than a couple, and he knows what we look like, what we do, how we act, how he's been able to scout Josh for a couple games now. He knows how dangerous Stephon Diggs is. He knows what some of our tendencies on defense and offense are. So maybe I'd rather play an unfamiliar opponent, but no, I'd rather play the Dolphins. I feel like we have a better shot. Josh's record against them is crazy. I hope he continues to build on that year after year. But yeah, I'd like us to get out healthy, but I don't see us benching anybody next week. So just stay healthy. Stay healthy again next week, go into the playoffs fully loaded with a clean slate. We're doing a really good job of that this year so far, especially with all the circumstances of COVID and less workouts and whatnot, and I guess less accountability, I guess you could say. But yeah, those are my three keys. Robbie, what is your prediction for the game?
My prediction for the Bills versus the Patriots, I think the Bills come out on top and they win it 28-18.
Awesome. Okay. I have it a little bit further apart, but same score for us. I have 28-10. Like I said, 10 will be the number for me for the Patriots. I think we come out, it's 21-3 at halftime. We come out after that. You know what? I'm going to go 31-10, actually. Sorry. I'm going to go 31-10. 7 points seems way too little for this offense, even if they're not really trying in the second half, even though they're only trying for a quarter. Like I said, I see it being 21-3, and then at some point 28-3, and then 28-10, and then we had a field goal maybe with 5 or 6 minutes left. Get the ball back. We get the ball back in 1 minute, kneel it out, game is over. I think it should be get in. We're going to get a hot start in the beginning, a couple touchdowns, a John Brown touchdown. Now that's whether he might be throwing it, he might be catching it. Stephon Diggs will have a touchdown, and Josh Allen will have a rushing touchdown as well. So hot start, smooth finish, get back home healthy, enjoy the New Year's with our families, get through week 17, get to the playoffs, and that's what it's all about, right? So that's us. Well, for Let's Talk 716 Sports, I'm at Jay Don't Fade. That's at Robbie39Bowler. Give us a follow, listen to the show. Give us some comments, some questions next time. We'll talk. We do a pregame show every single week. But for now, go Bills.